back on it, I have to say that the Lord had his hand on me. And he wasn't through with me yet. I turned the corner down here, coming back this way to check on the house, and when I turned that corner, all I could see is red and blue lights, and I knew there was a serious problem. And I just got a sick feeling, you know, because then when I got down here, they wouldn't let me stop because they were still looking for bodies and stuff. And it was 3 days before they let me back in here.
The loss of life and the emotional stress you'd never be prepared for.
One of the chief of police from out at Dixon found it. And it was somewhere out there in that field. Of course, it was in the case. And so anyway, he brought it, had it in his squad car, had it and my other guitar and a bass that I had. Now the bass got broke. And I had a brand new amplifier that they found, but it was destroyed. But I was just pleased to get these here back.
Everyone in this town was affected. I mean, we had no power or water for 2 or 3 days, so even if you weren't really totally in the path of destruction, everyone's life was disrupted by this process. You cannot even imagine the magnitude of having 5,000 people in the dark or without water or without normal house facilities such as toilets and stuff because there was no power to run anything.
He said, well, I got a picture and it has Granny's schoonover on the back. And he said, yeah, that's our Granny. And so they mailed it back. But Granny always liked to go. Anytime somebody was going to go to town, she was ready to go. So while she's in heaven, she come down and went to Ada and went back. With that necklace she's got on, she gave it, well, she didn't give it, but I got it after she passed away, and it was part of my jewelry that I lost and I never did find.
One guy over here, they lived in the first house we had when we moved here. And their son was killed. They found him in my front yard.
The path the storm took, with the exception of the Barquet, is very sporadically developed. Okay. Had it hit 2 blocks, maybe a quarter mile to the west, you would have hit a subdivision that has probably over 400 homes. So it would have been much more devastating. In many ways, we were blessed, you know, and on the other side of it, the loss of life was certainly not a blessing. But the path it took was miraculous when you look at the total devastation that could have occurred by even a minor adjustment on either side of the path that it did take.
That computer, it's about a half a block over there, or maybe farther. And, well, I found it, and I picked it up, and I thrown it back to pick up, and I thought, well, I'll put it in storage, you know, just because of the hard drive. And my son was here about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he's a computer whiz, and he said, well, let's just get it out and see how much damage it has. So we got it out and popped it all apart and got all the grass and the dirt and sand and gravel and all that stuff out of it and blowed it out good. And hooked up a monitor and a keyboard and mouse and fired her up, and it worked like a champ.
The official count, although there were a number of homes destroyed and damaged, they're looking at approximately 147 were either major destruction or destroyed. You know, they were no longer livable. Then there was probably an additional 40 to 50 that had severe damage, but the damage could be repaired. Then we ended up with about 3,006 tons of debris.
The man that raised me was Assembly of God preacher, and I was taught to depend on the Lord for everything, and I always have. If he wanted me, he'd pull me out of a cellar. You know, that's just the way I feel about it.